Hi guys. As I mentioned before, the hardest part of ecology as a unit is just that there are so many new vocabulary terms. We have so many new terms to learn, and we've learned a lot already. We have just two more that we have to do today. The first is producer, and if you want to know what a producer is, you can look right in the word itself and it will give you a clue as to its meaning. Inside the word producer is the word produce. If you produce something, that means you make it. So just by looking at this word, we know producers make something. But what is it that they're making? Producers make their own food. I know what you're thinking. If producers make their own food, then humans must be producers, right? I mean, we're in the kitchen all the time. We make food all the time. Everybody loves it when it's my night to cook. Just kidding. No, humans are not producers. Producers are organisms that use energy from the sun in order to make their food. They convert sunlight into chemical energy, which we call sugar. So these would be trees and grasses and flowering plants. They could be seaweeds and kelps. Those are all examples of producers. So if humans aren't producers, what are we instead? Humans are what are called consumers. A consumer, again, if you look right inside the word itself, it'll give you a hint as to what this one means. Inside the word consumer is the word consume. If you consume something, that means that you eat it. So we know just by looking at this that consumers have to eat their food in order to survive. So let's picture that grassy field again. The grass is a producer, and it's getting energy from the sun and converting it into sugar. That grass is going to be eaten by a consumer. In this case, it's a rabbit. So the rabbit will eat the grass. It's what's called a primary consumer. Primary consumers eat producers. But as we know, the food chain doesn't stop there. For every rabbit that's out there, there's another animal that's more than willing to eat it instead of eating a producer. So this hungry hawk, for example, is stalking the rabbit. It would rather eat the rabbit than eat the grass. So the hawk is what's called a secondary consumer. Secondary consumers will eat primary consumers. So we have the grass, the producer, which is eaten by the rabbit, the primary consumer, which is eaten by the hawk, the secondary consumer. And of course there are animals that would be willing to eat the hawk as well, and those would be called tertiary consumers. So again, we have producers, which are organisms that are able to make their own food, and consumers, organisms that have to eat their food in order to survive. And those are our terms.